In 2025, a line was crossed, a line that, until recently, seemed almost mythical. For the first time in human history, renewable energy collectively outpowered coal on a global scale. Solar panels glinted under the sun, wind turbines sliced through the air, and the steady hum of clean electricity began to dominate grids once dominated by coal-fired behemoths. Solar and wind now generate more electricity than the soot-choked furnaces of coal ever could. This wasn't just a milestone, it was a seismic pivot in the story of our civilization. Yet this victory is far from secure. Beneath the celebratory headlines lies a complex, fragile reality. Political sabotage, economic inertia, and technological bottlenecks lurk in the shadows. The numbers are staggering. According to the Ember Global Electricity Mid-Year Insights Report, renewables surged by 363 terawatt-hours in the first half of 2025 alone, enough to power an industrialized nation like Germany for 6 months. Solar took the lead, deploying record-breaking capacity, while wind filled the gaps with consistent output. This growth wasn't an accident, it was the product of decades of plummeting costs, aggressive private and public investment, and forward-looking policy frameworks across the EU, China, and beyond. Coal, once the bedrock of global energy, is becoming a relic. Its decline, paired with the meteoric rise of renewables, satisfied all new global electricity demand in 2025, from sprawling data centers to the proliferation of electric vehicles. This is no longer an alternative path, solar and wind are the main act. Cleaner air, lower carbon emissions, and millions of green jobs are tangible proof of the transition. It is a historic triumph, but also a moment of profound vulnerability. Days into his second term, President Trump declared a national energy emergency, via executive order, a political counterstrike against the green transition. His Unleashing American Energy initiative dismantled incentives for clean energy while fast-tracking permits for oil, gas, and coal. Federal lands, including pristine regions in Alaska, were open to aggressive drilling and mining. Critics labeled it a handout to big oil, and industry analysts warned of the consequences: short-term market volatility, environmental degradation, and the potential derailment of international climate commitments like the Paris Agreement. The political winds in the U.S. now favor fossil fuels, while renewable energy faces subsidy cuts, delayed grid interconnections, and a rhetorical framing that brands it as weak or un-American. Globally, technology has won the battle, but politics still threatens the war. Even with this historic surge, renewables are far from a panacea. While solar panels and wind turbines operate without producing carbon emissions at runtime, their intermittent nature remains the Achilles heel of a clean energy future. The sun doesn't shine at night, and clouds can shroud vast arrays of solar panels for days. Wind patterns are equally unpredictable, a calm day can bring entire turbine farms to a standstill. Without substantial grid-level energy storage, whether lithium-ion batteries, flow batteries, or large-scale pumped hydro, or reliable gas-powered backup, these fluctuations threaten cascading failures across energy networks. Blackouts in highly industrialized regions could become a recurrent reality if capacity planning and grid resilience are not addressed. Meeting ambitious net-zero targets by 2050 compounds these challenges exponentially. Current projections suggest that renewables must supply between 70 and 80% of global electricity demand, a level requiring a near tripling of today's installed capacity. This isn't just more solar panels and turbines, it demands the integration of cutting-edge technologies. Green hydrogen could serve as a flexible energy vector, storing surplus electricity and converting it into usable fuel. Advanced nuclear reactors, particularly small modular reactors, may provide continuous, carbon-free baseload power. And on the horizon, fusion energy represents a tantalizing but still experimental solution capable of producing massive amounts of stable energy without greenhouse gas emissions. Yet the green label often obscures hidden environmental costs. Solar panels rely on rare earth and critical elements, neodymium, indium, tellurium, and gallium, for photovoltaic cells and conductive components. Extracting these minerals is far from benign. In China's Bayan Obo mining district, extraction processes generate radioactive tailings, release heavy metals, and contaminate rivers, soil, and groundwater, affecting millions of downstream residents. Even the manufacturing of solar panels produces substantial carbon emissions, sometimes equivalent to several years of their operational energy savings. Wind turbines face similar issues: rare earth elements for high-performance magnets and fiberglass for blades, both of which are energy-intensive to produce and challenging to recycle, creating long-term environmental burdens if not properly managed. These hidden costs serve as a stark reminder that the transition to renewables is not simply a switch from dirty to clean energy. It is a complex, multidimensional challenge requiring not only technological innovation but also comprehensive resource management, industrial accountability, and forward-thinking policies to ensure that the environmental footprint of today's green technologies does not undermine the very sustainability they promise to deliver. Renewables beating coal is a massive win, proving change is not just possible, but inevitable. Yet the Trump administration's fossil fuel push, combined with renewables' technical limitations, shows the fight is only entering its hardest phase. Carbon neutrality demands more than just deployment, it demands political resolve, technological breakthroughs, and full accountability for every environmental cost. The path forward requires mandated recycling programs, aggressive R&D into rare earth alternatives, and highly efficient hybrid grids. We must hold leaders accountable for the entire life cycle of green energy. Without these essential steps, we risk merely swapping one form of environmental devastation for another. The sun keeps shining, the wind continues to blow, and the potential for a truly sustainable energy future is undeniable. The question remains, will we harness this potential responsibly, or allow short-term politics and complacency to undermine what humanity has achieved?